Hey, it's Shapes, and welcome to another edition of AniTube Digest, where we go over the best and not so best anime YouTube videos to come out this week from the 6th of July to the 13th of July, even though I'm recording this on the 19th. My previous recording, which was, 100 minutes long, so that's an hour and 40 minutes, didn't work, got corrupted, and I was very sad about it, because I put a lot of work into that one, and this was a huge digest, and it still is. I cut a few videos, unfortunately, but yeah, I haven't seen some of these in a while, at least a week's, but we're still gonna go out and have some fun. It's also a new orientation because bigger screen, new computer and stuff, so this is what we're doing. First, for the video that I thought was not good, and it's next to a video that I actually thought was decent, fairly, and I'm putting them next to each other because they're very similar. So they're both industry panels, so because there's no conventions this year, all the anime industry people have been making various live streams and conventions, basically making their own cons online. And the one that was not as successful, I don't think, was Funimation's industry panel at Funimation Con. And I don't really know how well the whole convention went or anything. I really wasn't there for it. They didn't really upload too much on their YouTube channel besides this. And this was a live stream and done live, kind of like a panel, right? So it's like there's nothing wrong inherently with doing these kind of panels live in person, but it didn't go as well, only because there was kind of a lot of awkward technical stuff, like waiting. You had to wait for you could tell they had to wait for an entire PV to play out, and some PVs they have these they cut to no music and they just have a still for 10 seconds. It just really killed the pacing and stuff, but they were showing a lot of PVs and rattling off title after title that they have, having various announcements. And I didn't think it was all that great. I mean, the at least compared to the other one, which was Aniplex Next, episode 1. I guess they're going to do many of these now. I guess it was an actual production. The thing about it, right? If it's a video, you have the opportunity. The opportunity is there to make it polished and make it like a direct, sort of like a Nintendo Direct, right? And have it be organized and scripted and uniform, I guess. And that's what Aniplex's was, and it was fine. Had some interviews with some various people, mostly voice actors, and they don't really have much to say about the show. They can't really say much about it. That's the thing about anime panels like this in general, is just a lot of them, they can't really promise you much because they don't know how the production's going to go, because it's not even done yet. It's a lot of it TV anime is being made as it's going out. So they have no idea how it's going to turn out. They can't show you too much. They can show you a trailer that they've kind of crafted in advance, but that's about it. But Funimation, Aniplex, they just had 5 titles. It's here's ours, that we're airing in the summer or whatever. And they were able to talk a little more in depth about each one and kind of discuss with some people and whatever. But Funimation, they just had so much to go through that a lot of it just felt very substanceless. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Not a lot of it felt special, and a lot of it kind of flew over your head in terms of the big announcements. And I guess the big announcements is that, Naruto is coming to Funimation's streaming service, subbed and dubbed. I cannot believe that wasn't the case already. I can't believe that's an announcement to make. Wow, finally? What were you waiting for? It was just bizarre to me, but they didn't even contextualize it. They were yeah, I know, you must be excited. I'm I had no idea. It's really, this wasn't available on your service already? This seems like a no-brainer. It's not like you got a license. They didn't license anything. There was nothing about their announcements that was at least exciting to me, obviously, but they don't do license rescues. They just don't. And they didn't really, they mentioned some things coming to DVD, but My Hero Academia Season 4. Okay, cool. Obviously, the other big announcements was like Tokyo Ghoul Re, not the original Tokyo Ghoul. Tokyo Ghoul Re is, I guess, the first one that they're dubbing in Spanish. That's cool. I like that. But what was weird about it was that they interviewed one of the producers and they spoke only in Spanish. And they had a conversation, they did not translate it. And what they did instead was, if you didn't catch that, she just kind of summarizes what they talked about. And I'm like, what? That's not how you do it. And Aniplex is all Japanese, but they actually subbed all of it. Well, actually, not all of it, which was funny because what ended up happening was like there was a moment where they were talking about re-airing anime. That was because like sometimes they take TV shows that have already aired on TV and they air them again in various time slots. They're like, hey, we're doing another run of Angel Beats or something. But I guess they didn't want to confuse the English-speaking audience. Or the noobs, like, new season of Angel Beats or something like that. So they were like, they basically making it out to be better than it is. But like, obviously this is for a Japanese audience primarily, so they're not going to explain that to the English-speaking audience. So I guess the Aniplex's solution, instead of cutting it, because they obviously we can't cut it, is to be like Japan only. Don't sub it. It just says Japan only in the corner. It's like, okay. You could learn some stuff about the anime industry, knowing about how they do this sort of they re-air some content sometimes on TV. That'd be interesting to know for new fans who happen to be watching this. It's like, what? I just don't know why they didn't do that. It's so strange. Anyway, the last thing was the one last thing for Funimation. Oh my god. So they were like, big announcement, guys, get hyped. Like, saving it for the last thing of the announcement, right? For Discotheque, that was, they announced they got the rest of the Urusei Yatsura movies, all of them. And that's huge. And that's great for Urusei Yatsura fans and for, like, older anime fans in general. It's further accessibility. It has to do with anime. Funimation's last announcement was shoes. They got shoes, guys. They're partnering with an off-brand of Nike, or just an offshoot of Nike. Not off-brand, I shouldn't say that. Like an offshoot, or I think they mentioned Nike, but it's some shoe brand I'd never heard of. And they're like, we're getting My Hero Academia shoes. They don't show the shoes. I guess they're just not designed yet. But they just say, oh, we have them. They're coming. And it's sad, too, that, like, that has to be a win. You know what I mean? Because there's been conversation of how, like, official anime merch is kind of crap in the United States. The most the licensors allow is, like, the official art. Like on the poster, of the main key art, that's all they allow, and it's really shitty printing and shit like that. It's not tasteful. It's not something you'd want to wear, kind of thing. It's not subtle at all, right? It's very cheesy. So like anime merch, official anime merch, in the United States is kind of rare. Rare when it's good, sort of deal. Which is stupid and unfortunate, but that's what we're dealing with right now. Way worse shit than that, honestly. But that's why they're taking this as such a W, because it's like fucking shoes, dude. But of course they're going to Hero Academia shoes, and it's like, it's probably going to be similar to what Deku wears, I imagine. I mean, if it isn't, that's really funny. It's like, why? He was right there. He has the fucking one of those shoes. Anyway. But, yeah, okay. But you didn't even show the shoes. It was just really awkward and sad to me. It was like, are you kidding me? This is an anime panel, and your big announcement is that you've got fucking shoes. Like, you had way more exciting announcements when you rescued Paranoia Agent, and you got that available, and hopefully that's getting a physical release. You didn't mention that. I don't know if that ever is getting a physical release at all, but I hope it is. Whatever. But yeah, no, and Aniplex is like, was decent. The subs are kind of weird. Not just because of the Japan only thing, but like they were different sizes and different format. They just weren't normal subs. They made it a little fancy, and this is not a fan, but certainly interesting, and it was more current and relevant, I guess. I mean, granted, the bulk of Funimation's was like showing PVs that are coming out soon, but like they could hardly say anything about some of these. It was just kind of a mess. Didn't like it. Not good. Okay, more videos that I thought were decent. Going into illdie. I think, yeah. Redline AMV Along the Ride. I'm sorry I'm looking this way and not like down. It was more aesthetic back in the day. Maybe I'll like put a box here and do that, but it might be too close. You might see like more of the body and shit. I don't wear pants. No, I'm kidding. No, but Redline, this was cool. It's not as high octane as you would expect a Redline AMV to be, I guess. I liked that it was a little more paced a little more methodically. It reminded me of Jawburst's Akira AMV, how like he didn't go for the normal thing, and it's syncopated in very subtle places here and there, but it lasts on a lot of shots. It lasts a longer amount of time on certain things. I like that about this one too, and I like the song choice. It was something like, I guess it's like a cover of kind of Ride My Bicycle. I don't really know. I should know. I'm sorry. But I liked that. It was comfy. It wasn't like a Redline AMV whoosh kind of thing. And I thought it was tasteful in that way. It was kind of cool. It was nice. Evynne x Evynne. Evynne. I think it's Evynne. Melody song with it's a cover. Not a cover. I shouldn't say that. It's an original song, composed completely by Evynne here, and about the character in question. I forget Melody. That would be her name, Shapes. It's right there. Son of a bitch. No, I'm so rusty, dude. Yeah, but like this was sweet. Like no one really does this. I think, I don't know. It's not like Rustage where he's like kind of rapping and referencing the thing or whatever. Evynne's more like embodying the character, and I guess Rustage is also kind of doing that, but I don't know. I shouldn't speak ill of Rustage because I'm sorry. No, but like it isn't very like referencey or anything like that. It just seems like more in the spirit of this character, and very sweet. And again, like it was nice to hear something that was an originally composition. It's more of a song. It's a song. It's not like a rap or anything. I shouldn't compare the two. I'm sorry I brought it up. It was a mistake on all fronts. But I liked that. It's very short and sweet, so I don't have too much else to say about it. But it was sweet. It was interesting. I like that it was being creative and everything. It's cool. Leth talked about anime being entertainment, and you should have fun with it. I agree. And Leth is like, this is different from my usual content, and I'm like, no, this is very much in your wheelhouse. Or like, I would have expected a video like this from you, because this is very much in Leth's like. He's always taking kind of the defense of a lot of these shows that get kind of quote unquote problematic for anime community people or news media kind of deal. Shitting on Magical Girl Site or Ari Ferretta or Shield Hero or any of these other things that kind of get accused as being political, and Leth kind of has a problem with that. And he just kind of wants it. It's like, it's fun at the end of the day. And I completely agree, where it's like, if you're not enjoying the thing, and I'm not going to be like, you should just drop it, I'm not going to be that guy, because I don't drop things, right? But it really is kind of picking your battles. Like you can watch the show all you want, but if you don't have anything nice to say about it, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, you can vent your frustrations, but like don't make a big deal out of it, I guess. And especially, I don't know. It sucks with like the journalists who are giving these shows very low scores and giving these immediate impressions to people, like very, very quick, before people have gotten a chance to see it themselves. And, it's in part their job. But then there's the argument of like, Yeah, but it seems like the journalists have, and I'm talking about ANN specifically, their summer previews, because I feel like that's where this sort of thing that Leth is talking about is the strong or most prevalent, where this sort of thing happens, where they watch the show, they have this major complaint about it, and it's like, because it has this problematic element to it, it's shit, and it's really like frustrating. But Leth is trying to kind of like quality. It's like, don't stop. It's just stop. It's just kind of annoying. I wish I had more to say about it, because I do agree with it a lot. But it's also, at the end of the day, it's like, people can have their opinions about it, and it's the same. It goes both ways, I would say. Where it's like, if they have that problem, then it's like, I mean, it's tough, because it's also tough when like you say that to anime YouTubers, like, don't make a big deal of this show, and like don't just like go shitting all over it. But at the same time, they're free to talk about whatever they want, and you're free to listen to whatever they, and it's free. It's the internet, What are you gonna do? But I think it's good ultimately for discourse for you to kind of stick to things that you like and represent, and there are audiences for it. I think there are people that like some of these shows, and they can represent them pretty well. And that was what it was. I was thinking, where like I remember Jekko talking about, I think he mentioned this, but like, it's weird how ANN doesn't have people that would like shows like this. You know what I mean? Like, the only people who are reviewing these shows are people that normally wouldn't like to watch an ecchi harem or this quote unquote trashy thing. And they don't have a broad perspective. A lot of them are increasingly kind of like, and also it's just like, it's tiresome. Like, I can imagine if that's your job and you're watching all these seasonals that you don't need to have any attachment towards. It's hard to have attachment to anything, and your standards kind of go through the roof, I guess. It's a sort of thorny issue, but like, not like a problematic or anything like that, or politicized exactly. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the politicization of some of these things, I don't think. It's just kind of throwing a wrench in discourse. And, the thing going on with Uzaki-chan right now, I truthfully think it's just because the community is bored and can't think of anything else to talk about, frankly. They need something to go against, I guess. If there was another show that they had some issue with, they'd find it. It just seems like that to me. And but the people who are complaining about people complaining, I think, are also kind of contributing to this issue of the discourse. It's like, yeah, you're complaining about this too, guy. It's, I don't know. It's like, people are like, oh, you're making a big deal about Uzaki-chan. Like, you are now making a big deal out of it by talking about it. It's just like, if you just, I'm not saying ignore it, it'll go away, but if it ruffles people's feathers, it ruffles people's feathers, and people will ruffle people's feathers. I don't know what I'm saying at this point. Sorry. It's not, damn it. Anyway, I like that Leth talked about it. I think he comes from a very open-minded perspective, and I like that he defends a lot of these shows in that way. Although it becomes, I don't know, it just becomes a little increasingly transparent, where it's like, there might be a show I have yet to see Leth find a show that is in the same ballpark as these other shows, and then he also doesn't like it. You know what I mean? There's this feeling that and I'm sorry if I'm putting words in your mouth, and I don't want to like assume anything. It just, that kind of comes off to me as, it's like, man, you really just defend the heck out of anything. I don't know. It just seems like that to me. But you do you, man. I think everyone does the internet different. That's cool. I like people, as I've said in Digest too. Like, I always like when people defend shows that don't have a defense otherwise, because I want all anime to have a positive image, or I don't know, whatever. Speaking of that old guard ANN sort of thing, I mean, she's not ANN, but she's certainly kind of old guard and kind of on Twitter and like causing ruffling some feathers in a similar way. Erika Friedman put out a video. She's a older individual. Why are there so many schoolgirls in Yuri? The thing is, she seems to be very well read in this in this genre. And she's a long time anime and manga fan. I think this is mostly about manga, actually. Very rarely talks about anime in this one. But obviously a lot of these have anime in them, of course. Anime attached to them. Yeah, but talks about Yuri and schoolgirls and everything, and kind of the history and origins of it, and how it kind of evolved. And it was good to hear from her, and good for her to make content. I think my issue with it was just the production values themselves, and kind of the video itself is kind of awkward. Someone else edited it, and the editing is kind of shoddy a little in places. Like they don't cut out a lot of breaths, and like, I mean, granted, I'm not cutting much out either, but especially when it's very clearly a scripted video, and just the editing seems a little awkward, right? You know what I mean? Like it cuts abruptly in some places, like she cuts off her sentence, or leaves in some big pauses and things like that. They're a little clunky, that are immersion breaking. That is why I mention it. I'd like to enjoy the video and everything. I'm not going to be complaining about like, oh, it's not 1080p or something like that. No, it doesn't matter, because we didn't have that for years before, when YouTube first started. It was still good content, right? It's more of just like, trying to understand it and breaking the flow, and you're more distracted by that thing rather than what you're trying to say, sort of deal. So there were some rickety things about it in the video making itself. But ultimately I am happy that people like her are making videos. That's something I've wanted for a while, but it's just a lot of them are busy with their real life jobs, and they are adults. Not that we're not adults either, but, we're younger. I don't know. But I am happy that she was making this video, and I wanted to shout it out. That was cool. That Japanese man Yuta put out an Origairu video. Origairu student council scenes, Japanese context explained. Ishiki Takai-kei, which is very much just talking about Ishiki Takai-kei. It's a bit of a tongue twister, just a bit. I really wouldn't have clicked on this video otherwise about Origairu, because it doesn't seem appealing to me. But I know a lot of people are fans of it for sure. But Hiding in Public linked me this video. It's like, I know you probably passed by it, but you should check it out. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I liked it, yeah. Yuta is kind of the only person I know of that's really breaking this down in detail, in terms of like the very small nuances that can't be picked up with subs and everything. And his ultimate, like, I wouldn't say every video, but like it seems like a lot of the video is being tailored to be like, look, you don't have to know about this stuff to enjoy this show, but if you do get it, then you enjoy it even more. And if you want to know more about it, join my class, and that sort of deal. And that's cool. Do the hustle. The hustle is real. I will say, I think Joey. I'll talk about it later video, but I think the anime man Joey could do stuff like this and be really good at it. Like probably better than Yuta. Only because like with Yuta, like I think it's comprehensive and good. He just kind of talks a little slow, and it's a little plotty, like a little, and not super like attention grabbing, I guess. I think it's more of the subject and the substance rather than over style, I suppose would be the word for it. And substance over style is a good thing ultimately, but it doesn't like excite me in the same way, like, wow, that was really good, or something like that. No, but I like I like this trope for sure. It was interesting. He didn't really go so far as to mention other types of Ishiki Takai in other anime. I feel like this might be the only representation of it, or maybe he just wanted to be hyper focused on this particular instance. But just learning about the trope was interesting for sure. And breaking it down like certain lines and the nuances in that way of this particular trope. You watch the video for yourself if you want to know what it is. I think it's cool. Anyway, but I liked that. I thought that was interesting. Thank you for sending that my way, Hiding. Even though I'm subscribed, it's more like, yeah, I probably wouldn't have clicked on this otherwise. It's Origairu, whatever. But it really has almost nothing to do with Origairu, actually, which I liked. Not like I hate Origairu. I haven't even seen it, but yeah. And I'm going to talk about another MVPerry video again, in the decent. I really can't bring myself to click on most of his other content, which is like tier lists and what X character says about you, and because it's really she's just making it because it's fun, and it's hard to really go after him for that sort of content, but I really can't stand it. But I do want to talk about when he kind of does other stuff other than that, particularly kind of a more realistic talk about his 600K channel getting hacked and deleted. And that had to do with a similar thing that Best Guy Ever went through, or Poco, or some of these other guys, where they get hacked and their channel changes their name and their profile picture. Usually not their banner, which is funny and weird. Like, okay. And they don't delete, I guess they just hide all the videos. They just private all of them. And they just kind of completely own it, and then they put up this live stream to try to scam other people. And that's what happened with Perry. I didn't notice, actually. I guess it was very brief. The live stream itself was very brief before it got taken down, or something happened to it. And, he goes through his stages of grief or just kind of what he was going through emotionally when this was happening, because it's really like, yeah, this is the reality. This is what happened. He also talks about like how he thinks he got hacked, where it's like, yeah, this was probably how, and it was this email doing this sort of thing. And he likes to, he thinks that he's pretty good at spotting this sort of stuff, but just made a mistake on this one. And it's like, yeah, we all do. That's fair. Sucks that happened. It really is just like, yeah, that's kind of where it came from, so watch out for that especially, sort of deal. But it was cool to hear about his more introspective from him, because obviously the rest of his content is completely not him, and just kind of content related, I guess. But like, I like hearing more about a creator and their thought process and everything, and what they go through. And the thing is too, I don't know anybody else who's really talked about this sort of hack on their channel in an actual video before. Like, Best Guy Ever has made memes about it, and he's clearly been vocal about it, but he's never made an outright video explaining what happened, or talking about it. I guess he just doesn't see the use of, the utility of it. But, I thought that was interesting that he kind of refrains from doing something like that. But, I liked this from Perry, and he was pretty honest about it, like talking about how there was a period where he didn't even want to play any games or anime or watch any anime because it just reminded him of his channel. And it's like, yeah, that's crazy. That's really rough. And sharing the support he was getting, and like sharing some memes and some stuff that people were sending him that made him feel better. And that sort of, community support that he has. And I liked that. I was like liked hearing about that. There's more of a person behind it, I suppose, and less of a, it just, a lot of his other content just feels very not like that to me. So it's easier to kind of hate on it, I suppose. But when it does stuff like this, I thought it was cool. But yeah, I mean, it's not much else. It's really just an update video, right, sort of thing. But I don't know. I just wanted to shout out. I thought it was cool. It was interesting. I was also recommended this video by Spirit Science, Gurren Lagann and the Birth of Odin. Big video. And, being a Gurren Lagann video and me making a Gurren Lagann video for a long time. And I've also realized this about just in general. I think if somebody made like a Dormy video or a Joe video or a Fukumoto video, right? I go in with it a lot more skeptical and a lot more critical, because I've made something like this. So it's like, or if someone made a video on Dazaki, right? I shouldn't necessarily go with this a little more like hard and critical, but I just can't help it really. But I enjoyed the feeling of this video being like kind of more comfy and good feeling, like Spirit Science. Like, it's really kind of, I don't want to make assumptions about their channel. They didn't really go so far as to sell me something or like, it didn't feel pseudoscience-y, or just like conspiratorial. You know, it kind of gets in that realm of kind of like, okay, sort of thing. And, you know, and again, I don't want to be too judgmental about that or like criticize this video for that at all, because it didn't feel like that whatsoever. It just, you get that vibe, and it's just like, okay, and it just, that's something to take into account, I suppose. But you know, there were things that I didn't like, but very small thing. You know, very like particular nitpicks is like, again, as somebody who who is making a Gurren Lagann video, he's like, I'm not doing that, okay? Where I've made a conscious effort to, I don't know. But overall, was before those nitpicks, I just like the feeling of the video, and the reading itself seems pretty sound. It doesn't seem like they're looking into it more or less than it actually, you know, they're not undervaluing it and they're not overselling it. The very weak compliment, I suppose. It's not good and it's not bad. Like, okay. Let's just get to the more interesting bits, I suppose, then. I'm sorry, you know, that's just that's what it be. Yeah, this was towards the beginning of the video and already made me extremely sus. Now, Spirit Science is not like an anime YouTuber, and I didn't like dig way into their channel to see if they've ever talked about anime before. This might be the first time they've ever talked about it. But it came off very much like they're not much anime fans as they are Gurren Lagann fan or fan of this show. And they seem to be a little more of an outsider. And there's nothing wrong with making an anime YouTube video and being an outsider. Absolutely not. But when you make assumptions, or just kind of these generalizations, and so they said Gurren Lagann wastes no time. It takes 27 episodes for them to become the size of this giant galaxy thing, right? And oh, wow, 27 episodes. And they say this, whereas it takes Goku 500 episodes to go Ultra Instinct. Naruto, 700 episodes to become Hokage. And Luffy, over 900 to find One Piece. And he still hasn't found it. Jesus Christ. First of all, of course you choose the most popular fucking shows. Like, you at least give me some deep cuts, man, like Mason and Koku. Will they, won't they? I'm sorry. No, but, like, that's just not the fucking point, dude. Like, clearly One Piece is about the journey. Again, I haven't even fucking read or seen One Piece, but it's obviously not just about finding One Piece. It's all of these characters you meet and the journey and the adventure. And what? It was so bizarre, and it turned me off so hard to this video. I was like, okay, this guy's just not all right. Yeah, and like when you make general assumptions like that, it really turns me off as a viewer, as someone who really likes anime in this way. And like, I actually haven't even seen any of those three, but I know that's just not the fucking point. Like, are you going to complain about Urusei Yatsura being 195 episodes and it doesn't have a plot? Or like an ongoing narrative? Like, are you going to complain about that? I guess it's apple to oranges, but like, it's just so baffling. Like, yeah, it's a long show because it's a lot of dramatic weight and a lot of characters. And Gurren Lagann, they only had 2 cores to do stuff, and it like no shit. And this one just happened to go to and Gurren Lagann is a complete outlier in terms of like the biggest you can possibly be and being like super over the top and everything. And that's what's great. It's a positive trait about it. But do you really have to put these other shows down that's clearly not their goal? And are you saying that if Gurren Lagann was 12 episodes, that would be better than 27? That's what it came off to me. Like, episode count automatically mean, like, the more episodes your show is, the worse it is. It just came off like that. It was like, what does that mean? If Luffy found the One Piece in 10 episodes, the show would be 10 episodes, and that's it. Like, a movie? Are movies the divine fucking... It was just so bizarre. It was just like, what a terrible point to make. Like, awful. Oh, God. They do the classic shitting on episode 4, calling it a test. They actually call it, like, a test, like an endurance test. If you get through episode 4, you're rewarded with better episodes. How dare you? What the fuck does that mean? Oh my God. Episode 4 is such an easy horse to beat. It's a dead fucking meme, dude. Like, and they do it twice in the video. Oh God. But, you know, I will say the thing about the video that was kind of tiresome to me the most, and I don't even have it in my notes, but I just happen to remember it, I guess. But the whole structure of the video was going pretty much episode by episode. Pretty much. And like what they saw in it in terms of like what they see and what they value in spiritual science is what I guess their belief is called. I'm sorry I'm being super rude and ignorant to this. I did enjoy the video. It was comfy, but it was just more, yeah, again, I prefaced it from the beginning. I'm very biased to this because I'm making it. I'm going to be more critical. But it was a 49-minute video, and here was kind of what I was like, what's the problem with that? So okay, but the thing that they do, the whole video is they're going episode by episode pretty much, and they're describing the show pretty narratively, and like, this represents this in spiritual science sort of deal. And like what they, you know, stuff that you can take from this show and apply it to what they say on the channel and what they talk about generally. I assume, first time I've seen this channel. But my problem with it that I remember is like, yeah, that was the thing about it. They say at the beginning, we're going to have 2 spoiler warnings. We're going to talk generally about the show, and then we're going to talk about just the first episode, and then I want you to stop and watch the whole show. And they make a very specific point about that. Like, please stop the video and like wait and watch the full show. And then it's like, did you watch it? Now, I just did this with a video that I put out a couple days ago, A Tale of 3 Restaurants. But first of all, that's 20 minutes. I don't think I'm asking too much there. It's not 27 episodes, okay? But secondly, it was weird that they told you very specifically they want you to watch the whole show, and then the video is just them telling you the show. You could have watched this video without watching the show. You really could have and get everything, because they break it down really succinctly, like beat for beat, every single bit, pretty much. And it really felt like you could just watch this video without having seen the show. But they make such a big deal of watch the show first. So it's like, I don't know why they didn't like structure it differently about like certain aspects of spiritual science and then group aspects in Gurren Lagann that relate to that point and structure it that way, rather than vary all over the place and using the show itself as the spine of your video. That just was like kind of a poor choice in my opinion. It just made it very tedious as somebody who's seen Gurren Lagann, and also, you know what I mean? It was just very tiring. But, you know, again, it's a comfy feeling and ultimately a very positive message. The Birth of Odin, I shouldn't spoil the video, but they don't say where the Birth of Odin title comes from until the very end of the video, which obviously is the very end of the series. Which, if you are familiar with kind of how that series ends, you might be like, oh, yeah, okay. Interesting, I see. But yeah, I was just... and I'm putting it in decent still, but, you know, it's a similar deal where, similar to Bread Swords or whatever, but would it be... Oh, one more thing. I swear, towards the beginning, they said Gurren Lagann is about this, finding true love, and this. And listing it as some stuff. And I remember the clip they used was Nia in Lagann when they were in the air right after Simon saves her, and right before they, he does the giggle drill break or whatever. They're in the air and stuff, and she smiles and stuff. I swear that happened in the video. He said that. And then at the end of the video, when certain spoiler happens, I'm not even going to try to spoil it, he says, it wasn't about Simone finding love or courage or anything like that. You said it was! You said it was in the beginning of the video! The contradictions like that are very rare. And I want to point it out because I was just like, it's so blatant. They say it's about finding true love when it really isn't. And then at the end of the video, they say, oh, it wasn't about finding true love. What are you talking about? I just thought that was funny. Sorry to shit on this video way more than liking it. Would it be sometimes? That's, that does happen. Oh well. I liked it though. I swear. Japan stinks! Japan sinks. From Isla McTear, guess who's back? Back again! This was completely unexpected. And I'm sure it was unexpected for her too, because I think she said, I did not think this show would pull me back or whatever. But obviously she had to be very timely, because the show had just come out. And it's funny. It's a week after this video came out. And so I would have expected by now people would have made videos on Japan Sinks. And no, not many people have. I think Isla's really the only one I've seen so far, significantly, that have made a Japan Sinks video. I don't know why. It's very interesting. But, she has kind of a lukewarm take on it. I don't think she hated it like some people did. And she didn't give it a 9 out of 10 or something. I think she says, it doesn't sink. Or it doesn't float either. And, it was a comfy video from Isla. I do prefer when she makes videos that aren't this series of, this show in 5 minutes. I personally think she's better than this. Not like I hate the format or something. I think it's a great way for her to kind of cut something out. But, I did have when I heard that she was making a video, I was like, yo, deadass! And then I saw the thumbnail, I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm happy she's back. That's just me, okay? But yeah, I like the little AMV she has at the beginning, or just in a montage of Yuasa stuff, whoa! It's crazy. It's crazy. And so quickly. She just made this video so effing quick, and it doesn't feel like... it feels like she was making it for a week or something. It feels like a week's worth of effort. And she's like, nah, that's just me flexing, dude. Jesus Christ. But she's great. But yeah, you take it or leave it in terms of a review necessarily. And then she's pretty in the middle of it. So it's not like, whoa, what a take or something like that. But I'm just very happy she's back and she made something. And can't wait in the next 6 months for you to make the next. I'll wait. It's cool. Yeah, I'm sorry I don't have too much to say about it, because it really is just kind of a review. But yeah, nice. And SteveSekai, the battle for Konosuba's throne, isekai'd. I'm not familiar with the series exactly, so I don't know how similar it is to other content, but I watched this in isolation, and I liked it. I liked it. No, he was talking about how, Konosuba's this big cult, we love it. It's coming into that sort of classic territory at this point. But he's talking about how, fans are looking for an isekai to take its place, and they want their Konosuba fix. So he watched 3 shows that, have some attribute credited with Konosuba. One of them is very loose because it's a fan's spiritual successor, like what kind of the community is saying. A lot of people are making comparisons to Konosuba in this way, probably because of the facial reactions and things like that, and the kind of the lampooning of certain tropes and everything, and also has a goddess attached to it. Cautious Hero, that's the name of it. And he hated it. So that was interesting. I don't have much of a horse in this race in terms of what he liked and didn't like so much, but I liked that the selections he had, where one was spiritual successor, one was by the same director as Konosuba, and one of them was by the same author as Konosuba. And he ended up finding Kimono Michi, the one by the same author, Bill, to be kind of the better one. So maybe that's to say something about Konosuba's quality. Maybe it's really mostly having to do with the writing. But he didn't really mention so much about like Kimono Michi's directing, when it's like, this is what it was lacking that Konosuba did have, or something like that. I don't know. And I couldn't even remember the name. I don't even recognize the show that he talked about that was the same director. But I like that he talked about the director for sure, in kind of having an understanding of it. But, you know, I'm not sure how much of it was connected to Konosuba in that way. It was really more like an excuse to talk about these shows sort of deal, is kind of what it ultimately felt like, and not as much of a comparison and really explaining like what makes Konosuba so great. You just kind of assume, it just felt like yeah, of course, everyone knows Konosuba's great. There's no contesting that. We don't have to explain that. It's like, okay, I would have liked that. But, you know, what it be, what it do. And I like the production on this. I like that it was the way he's filming himself, and I think he has a good on-screen presence, you know, despite being kind of scripted. I don't know how scripted it was, but it seemed very format, you know, it didn't seem off-cuff, which was nice. You know, I like that he's very mixing it up in different locations and things like that. Kind of reminded me a lot of like AVGN or, you know, very, very old school Tigwatig sort of stuff, I suppose. Not Tigwatig stuff, because Tigwatig usually just has one location. But, yeah, I enjoyed that. And there's not a lot of on anime YouTube doing this specifically, like this style of video, and it's refreshing in that regard, I think. I shouldn't say cliche, but old school, I think is kind of the feeling I get. But I enjoyed that. I think that was a good video. That was nice. Good job. Okay. And now for what I thought were the best videos of the week. And I liked them a lot. We're going to talk about HazelNeverTalks putting out 2 more AMVs, and then she put out another 2 AMVs this week. So I'm going to talk, I haven't seen those. I'm going to watch them on tomorrow. But I included Thousand Eyes Idol in the playlist, the digest playlist. I'll talk about both of them generally, but like, it was interesting. She first put out a Princess Tutu AMV, which is very Ava-esque, Evangelion-esque, I guess. Very like surreal and chaotic and abrasive at points, but very hypnotic and captivating, and very much a step up from what she was doing with the Doremi AMVs. The Doremi AMVs are pretty much clip selection. I don't remember if there was anything too fancy about them, but I liked the Tutu AMV a lot. It just felt like a real step up, and for being so early, right? Like, it took me way longer than what she did for until I was able to kind of get to that level where she is. So that's already very promising. I can't wait for that. But I mentioned Thousand Eyes Idol, I think, because it just was more up my alley in terms of introspection and doing different, kind of breaking some eggs that I've never seen broken before, where like, and maybe Gil's done this somewhere, but you know, but she was working on this Digimon AMV, and she got kind of really bored of it, or just discouraged with it generally, and so she puts this very long, like this scroll wall of text in her typical grammar, her writing style, which is very kind of leet speak and chaotic, but I like it. It's incredibly charming and like a little nostalgic, actually, for a certain period of time, I guess. But it's very charming. but also just like distinctly her, and it's something I wanted to mention. I think it was very interesting. But like having that wall and talking about like, you know, do I even like making them, and feeling the pressure to make a new thing and make it better or something. You're already feeling that shit that we feel all the time, large and small. But all content creators feel this challenge of like, okay, now what? And what's the next thing? And there's an expectation. And I'm sorry I added to that expectation by including it on Digest and saying I can't wait to see it. If I put in any added pressure, I apologize. That was obviously not my intention. But, you know, I'm happy that you're still making more. You've made 2 more, it seems, afterwards. And it's very exciting. Actually, did you make 2 more? Was that the privated video? No, there are 2 more. Okay, good. But yeah, I like it. And it was cool. Great commentary shapes. And also, of course, how like you stopped making this one and then went to make the 2-2 one and just learned a lot more tricks and was just a lot more happier with the product overall. And I'm happy to hear that, and keep going, you know, but you know, go at your own speed. And apparently your speed is making 2 AMVs every other week. You're killing it. Like the output, I'm just kind of jealous, to be honest. But it's awesome, and I'm really happy to see you expressing yourself in this way. And I hope you keep having fun, and don't feel like your last one has to be better. Your latest one has to be better than your last one. Don't feel that way. I'm not going to tell you. I shouldn't tell you how to feel. I think it's nice to feel that way sometimes and to improve. But if that means it's getting discouraging, then it's like, okay, I should take it easy. It's like, look, I like making these, right? And it was the challenge. You know, something that Hazel was reflecting. It's like, do we even like making these? And it's like, no, I like them. But it is true. It's really like, at the end of the day, if you like making them, that's what counts. Yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed that tremendously. Y'all give it a watch, please. KorewaEden with another banger. The problem with anime journalism. Now, obviously, I see this and it's like, oh no. It's like, oh, what is it going to talk about? Because there's this whole, like, because I think with Leth as well, with like ANN and like, they said this thing and it's controversial, or like they're whatever, but like, there was some genuinely woke takes in here, actually. Particularly, you mentioned the Crunchyroll article about this one background character in the first Pokemon episode that seems like dissatisfied, and they have this whole like theory thing. And Eden doesn't so much attack the articles that he mentions, like substance-wise, or just like disagrees with them. It's more like the utility. It's like, why do they exist? Why are they here at all? And like he mentions the fact that he mentions like this article, and it's like, you have enough money to pay people these really weird, dumb articles, but you can't pay your translators more than $80 an episode. Oh, I was so happy to hear that from like a channel like yours, which is, we'll be honest, is amassing an audience that is way more jokey and memey and not super political, and it's like, I hate my audience. No, I shouldn't put words in your mouth. But like, you know, you're not like trying to be Canipa or something, right? But the fact that you're making these points in this sort of memey, sort of like reactionary sort of video, the videos you make, which I like, but like you're putting out this really sharp criticism, and I just think the juxtaposition is awesome. I really like it, and I really like that you make these complaints about like season 2 of Violet Evergarden and things like that. It was great. I love seeing that from you. You know, I don't click too much from your content, but it's like, you know, but sometimes I'm not even going to say sometimes. It is pretty much every single time I've decided to click on a video of yours, I've enjoyed it. And that's awesome. I love it. You know, when I decide to. I think it's a backhanded compliment of sorts. But, you know, I really like this a lot. I think your humor is getting better and better. it's not like you're going super crazy with the visuals or anything, but it's consistently engaging for sure. Because again, your humor is carrying through not just with your performance, but also with what you're showing on screen too, and you're constantly improving yourself, and it's awesome to see. And again, but it's just like I love the juxtaposition of just like this kind of memey, kind of like sort of jokey sort of structure, but making these really woke, direct, like really valid points. So I'm like, this is great, dude. Oh my God. Yes, please. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really did. It wasn't cringe at all. I don't know what this made me these backhanded compliments. I'm sorry. I just like give me a I'm sorry. No, I liked it a lot. I did. And yeah, Joey the Anime Man putting out another interview, and I'll probably just mention every interview he talks about because I love them so much. He is so goddamn professional and really good interviewer. I spent a day with an anime voice actor, and obviously it's meant to promote the game that he's cameoing in, and that's just where the gig came from. And like, I'm not sure how much of it was like him wanting to do it, or the company's like, this would be a good idea, do it, or something, or a negotiation, as these cool things are sometimes. But I liked it a ton, because not only is he asking decent questions, but he's also really engaging with the creator and completely natural. In complete Japanese, and he doesn't even tell you to turn subtitles on. He just goes right into it. I love that, and you just expect to turn on closed captioning, and the subs are great. The subs are very good, like well timed and sort of deal with the closed captions. There's a lot of effort and attention to detail put into those that you can appreciate, at least as someone that like works on subtitles sometimes, and has been starting to really be more immersed in it, I guess. I don't know. But, like, his Japanese is fantastic. As he said in various Trash Taste podcasts, that, like, and I really hope that he uses that more in his videos, because I really think it's a significant talent that not a lot of people know or would expect from him at all. Like, I think, and even like the person he's interviewing had no idea, was very surprised, and she's like, "How long have you been in Japan? 4 years? Your Japanese is that good? Your Japanese is that good after that long?" And he's like, "Yeah, my mother's Japanese." And he's like, "I see." No, but like he's really good at it, and he's better than some native people. But like beyond that, it's not like he's trying to flex or anything. Like, he's very conversational. He has questions and a structure laid out, but he has banter with them. And the voice actor here is kind of a nerd herself, and talks about playing like Nintendo. It's like, oh, Animal Crossing came out at a great time, and he's like, yeah, I love playing it. He didn't come off as that like pandery or sucking up to her or anything like that. It was very cordial and conversational, and it was really comfy to watch, with interesting information, I guess, and just kind of where her background is. It was just a really cool interview, and I liked it a ton. Or hearing about her process with like how she chooses a voice for a character, where she sees the design and she's like, okay, maybe it's something like this, and but then finding a negotiation and working through it and everything. And then Joey also talking about his experience. And he's like, yeah, this is something I really want to do. I want to get into more voice acting. I really want to be more immersed in that. And I think it's really exciting. I think it's awesome. And he totally could. He's already getting small stuff, but like, it's only a matter of time, I think. And that's going to be freaking sick, actually. But I'm very happy for him. And I think this is the shit that I like a lot most from him. There's this other stuff that I do kind of take it umbrage with him sometimes with some of his content he puts out. But if he's making stuff like this, I can't hate him. I really can't hate him completely. I think he's good. Heck yeah. Pause to select with another banger, as usual. Why Japan Sinks is an important franchise in the history of Japanese apocalyptic fiction. Period. Kind of a... what is the... Oh yeah, a lot of... Yeah, watch it. Oh, March 11th. Oh, that makes sense. 3/11. I'm seeing the thumbnail from like way above here and like the size of like a postage, because it's a lot of text, and I don't know. I kind of like the older thumbnail, but I guess he used this for more uniformity or something. I don't know. But yeah, I liked this a ton, but especially because this was before, right before it came out, and I had no idea it was coming out so soon. But this really convinced me not to watch Japan Sinks until I watched the other things, until I watched the 70s movie and the 2000s movie, which I guess is a little rarer to come by, so it might not happen. But still, I really appreciated that him talking about it and giving a more broader perspective. And I'm sure he's going to have a follow-up video talking about the current one and how it relates. And apparently, like, I saw some tweets from him how Japan Sinks 2020 is adapting certain parts of the novel that have never been touched before. So that is interesting. But it's just a fascinating sort of fascinating situation, and he's bringing it with the same sort of finesse and nuance and cultural historical understanding. It's so informational, and it's kind of what you expect, really. It came out a while ago. I'm sorry, but I like the piss out of it. I don't know why I said that. What the fuck am I talking about? And he's asked about feedback. And I'm sure he's gotten plenty now and he's heard it. But no, seriously, if it means that he's going to put out content much faster, like he was able to make this in a week. And that's for this quality, too. Like, he's just become so great at making content that, like, he's really able to... I can't believe I lost my train of thought. I'm so bad at this. Specifically, I'm talking about him making the live action, him filming himself talking about it. And that was all right, yes. It's tough because I've recorded this before, so it's like, I want to include some things that I said in the other one sort of deal. But I know this might be just conspiratorial, like me making shit up. But to me, this video it felt like the message was clearer to understand and to follow than his other videos because of the live action set, the way it was broken up with him talking to the camera. Because like, his editing is so engaging that it's a potential distraction from what he's saying, and what he's saying is so verbose and using certain language, and the way he's talking, I guess, it's not very straight shooting. It feels it's easier to follow him when you see him on camera, and when he's talking just to you, I was able to just kind of listen and follow what you were saying, I guess. But that might have just been the writing was just more engaging and accessible this time around. But it just felt that way. Whereas, like, I was able to kind of notice I was able to pay attention more, I guess. But I feel like it had something to do with just filming yourself, because when there's no other distractions, I shouldn't say that your editing is distractions at all. It's aesthetically really pleasing and helpful. But it just felt like when that happened, I don't know, it was just something I noticed. And it might just be BS. It could just be like placebo fucking like bullshit. But I don't know, something to kind of consider. It was something I kind of noticed and felt like I wanted to mention. But of course, yeah, it's very helpful. Especially, if you've seen Japan Sinks and you're like, what the fuck is this shit? Because I've been seeing that's like a lot of people who were aware of the source material and what it was trying to do came away with interesting thoughts about Japan Sinks and kind of saw what it was doing. And then everyone else who kind of went in blind fucking hated it. So it's just very interesting that it's such a divisive title. I don't know if I want to watch it at this point, but, let it be. That was something else. Canipa Effect with the big boy. It's impossible to live as a Crunchyroll translator. I was very happy he talked about this, and I'm happy it's him. And I'm most happy that he made this a video. And, like, this could have been an article on ANN or something. And, but I'm happy because other industry people are looking at it. He is receiving more messages from former Crunchyroll employees and getting more information. And this is like real legit journalism and providing new information that he found that I had not heard of at all. Anybody saw, like, I feel like this is such a sticking point that people would have said this by now. So this is clearly fairly new information. And I don't know how much of it is really subjective, but it seems to be legit, of how the $80 an episode rate was normalized by a fan subgroup, Live Evil, by their leader, who went legit and kind of created their own firm and charged that much, or something like that. And he was basically the reason they got this rate. But it turns out the guy is a complete fucking creep, a complete freaking sexual deviant, and not deviant, I suppose, but like a real creep, I guess. He wrote this book that kind of coerces men to sexually assault women. Okay, you do you, I guess. And he like fled from the industry, like changed his name, went to Japan, and works completely in a completely different industry now, you know? And so, but like, but he says like the industry has not moved on from this guy. This guy managed to get away, but the industry has not managed to get away from him. And it's like, oh my God, holy shit. And the video is doing really well. Like, you know, numbers wise, I think, not like 1 million or something, but like, it's getting traction, which is very, very good to see. And I hope it leads to some change. That was kind of my thing, but I love it so much, is that out of most of the videos I've seen this year, it seems to be the one video that like could actually lead to some positive, significant change and do some actual good. And it's great to see that this is it's a video. It's an anime YouTube video that did that. You know, because that's the value, and I think that the power we have as a sphere, and that's stuff we can accomplish, not just entertain or educate, like whatever, an audience. It really can be a source for good and a source for change, and a very powerful one. And I'm so happy Canipa did it. The video itself, I think, is really good, with very like sharp clip selection and some creative stuff here and there, like when he does the 2000s and he moves into 4:3 aspect ratio and some stuff like that. And you know, it's not like a very uniform, it's not a very utilitarian video, kind of like what a lot of he usually does, but it's very polished, and a lot of work went into it, and I love it a lot. It's fantastic. And lastly, we're going to talk about a very big boy. A very big boy. Hour and 42-minute big boy, to be precise, from Core, and Man Mode, and Jack's Boy, and Digi. Every anime in 1989 reviewed from fall. Holy shit. Finally, the finale to a long time coming. It was over a year. And big endeavor, and kudos and congrats to everybody around. I took a lot of notes. Because it's such a big video. I also watched it twice because it was just that good. But mostly because I wanted to. I watched it for the premiere, and then I knew I didn't want to like gloss over a lot of stuff, and there was so much to it that I wanted to take notes, so I watched it again. And that's why. I just noticed my fan's on. I guess that's okay. First of all, I'm looking at the video now, and there are still no time codes on it. I think it would help with some time codes. Sorry if that's the first point I make. Like, the real thing about it is I was expecting this. I as someone who has contributed to the previous entry and had no reason to expect anything different from it, like, this is going to be different this time around. But it is the fourth time Core's made something like this, or assembled something like this. So you know, there's certainly learning experiences from the previous ones applied here, and it can ostensibly be called the best for that reason. But there were certainly certain things about it. I was very happy to see that the segments were shuffled this time. The previous segments, I'm pretty sure, at least the summer one I know, they were Core's videos, someone else's videos, someone else's videos, someone else's, well, Man Mode's videos, because he's in every single one of them, someone else's videos, someone else's videos. But this one was like a mix, and I think I mentioned that in the summer one, that I think it would add to some more variety and more surprise, I guess. And I like it. I like that for that reason. Although I don't know if it necessarily contributed to Well, it certainly was good that you did it for this one, because if you did it the other way, where it was all of Kore segments and all of this person's segments and this person's segments, if you did it that way, it would have been a lot more obvious, and it wasn't as obvious. But like a real sticking point that I just happen to notice is how much Kore is covering material-wise in this video versus his contributors. Like, Kore has 24 different entries, and I bunched the unsubbed montage where he just rambles through a bunch of the show. That's all their own. So it could be ostensibly more than 24, but essentially 24 segments. While Man Mode has 4, Jacket's Boy has 5, and Digi had 1. And it was even more obvious when I actually wrote down the order in which it just became more obvious. Kore, Man Mode, Jack, Digi, Kore, Jack, Kore, Man Mode, Kore, Jack, Kore, Man Mode, Kore, Jack, Kore, Jack, Kore, Man Mode. Okay. And not like I don't like Kore at all, and like it's like, oh, there's too much Kore. Not at all. It just was something I noticed, and it just was something like that stuck out to me, and it ended up being a little distracting in that way. And it was just confusing, especially when it's like, you know, Kore wasn't necessarily the reason this video took so long to make. Which I can say, it's not a metatextual thing. You bring it up in the video. That's how you end it. How it took Man Mode forever. But you know, what it be, what it do. Sometimes you can't help it. No, but it was crazy. It was 43 videos in one, essentially. All of these could have been kind of their own thing, and some of them were certainly more creative than others, and it was a little bit of a mixed bag in some way, not like in a negative sense. You know, some people are like, it's a mixed bag. You know, none of them were poor. None of the segments I don't think were like straight up bad. But there was certainly more care and love, I guess, put into some versus others, and that's tough when there's so much content and it's like, well, I have this thing and I don't have anything to say about it. It really is, and and I think all 3 of you guys, and Digi's was just Angel Cop. All 3 of you guys had that situation run into and handle it somewhat differently. But I guess I'll go over it because I have the notes, and now I'm not going to go over every short, but a good deal of them. I think I'll go chronologically in terms of what the shorts were, and kind of the first thing that came out to me was Warao Salesman with Man Mode segment, and I gave some superlatives out. I made I just kind of like, as a shorthand of like, this is something that stuck out to me as the best of this sort of thing. Like, what was my favorite segment? What was the best AMV portion? Most creative? Most biggest surprise? Stuff like that. But I gave Warao Salesman the best writing. I considered that having the best writing purely out of a creative and like, I just love that Man Mode took the perspective of the main character, of the laughing salesman, and using it to really thoroughly explain the series in a very atmospheric and comfortable way, but also using it as a vehicle to ultimately say that, like, you know, he doesn't like it. But it didn't feel like negative in that way. It felt like you were giving the series its best light and best giving it the best foot forward, I suppose. Where a lot of people who, if they don't like the thing that they talked about, they can be pretty negative about it, as it be, of course. But I liked that you used Kenny Lauderdale as a way to kind of use it as like, oh, you don't get it. You watched all 103 episodes and you don't understand that, because Kenny had certain things about the substance of the series. And I was surprised that Man Mode didn't go harder on him than he did, but I liked how he did it, how he went about it, or he's like, maybe I'll pay him a visit to give him some misfortune. But he talks about how like the series is not very life affirming, and it's just kind of it's made for miserable people to watch miserable other miserable people. And he's like, watch my miserable series, and that was good. I think my favorite line is. It's a deal. That's right. It's a deal with the devil, except the devil is you, and I'm just the one holding the mirror, and I'm the one holding the mirror. It's better written than that, but but I liked that a ton. God, it was that was a I wanted to say something more creative than a banger because I feel like I've been just saying that over and over. Man, my vocabulary is shit. Whatever. Kore's Kaseyakyaku segment is very good. Obviously being a Dazaki thing, right? But that was one where it was like the instrument orchestration's fantastic and the little AMV thing at the top, and covering it really, really effectively and convince it like it really is one of those shorts that I see and I'm just turned off by it, even though it's Dazaki, right? It doesn't seem. It just seems like a little side thing that he did, but you really give it a positive overview and really sell it, and I really liked it. Just something to mention. I was like, I liked that one. Oops, I skipped Digi's. I didn't want to talk about Digi's only segment on Angel Cop. There's not too much to say about it because it really is vintage, almost classic Digi, and it's similar. Like the last thing I think she's made something like this was the Apocalypse Zero video for sure. And I think she's starting to get in the mood to make more stuff like this again. But it was just good to see it in this sort of video, and especially for Angel Cop, because I know that like Angel Cop is a terrible representation with like the old guard and kind of like those guys. Oh, Angel Cop, right? They kind of have this meme about that. And I think Digi makes a point about this. Like, don't let them fool you. This is genuinely decent. And I was like, yes, let's go. I'm happy to hear that. I don't have any horse in that race. I've never seen Angel Cop. But I was happy to see that. I love positive representation in that way. I hear that Core did some further tweaking with the editing and stuff and kind of and certain instrumentation. I don't know. That was certain tweaking they did, but I liked that. I think it was a well-produced product. It's not. Don't call it that, please. No, but I liked it. I liked it. Very classic Digi for sure. Oh, and I really liked that he appreciated the dub and making kind of a defense for it. And it's like, yeah, of course they're gonna say fuck a bunch of times. They're in the middle of danger. Of course you're gonna say fuck. I like that. That was very good points. Kore, I think, did the best job with really digging into these subject matters or the anime in question. And I feel like a lot of it probably was due to like, I need to have something to say about this thing I didn't care much about, right? And I think that's where the Shuten Doji one came from, which I thought was the best segment. It's either that one or Sally. It's really, I'm leaning more towards Shuten Doji because it was more like a unexpected thing, and whereas Manmo's is like, yeah, of course he's gonna kill it, to be expected sort of deal. And it was a great way to end the video for sure. But I don't know, Shuten Doji was like a really like, oh shit, no way kind of deal. And that one's talking not really much about the OVA as it is about the composer for the soundtrack and how good that soundtrack is. And finding their YouTube channel and all the like doing the real deep dive on them. I liked it a ton. It really gave you the excuse to talk about this guy who has had no representation at all on this platform. They're very, with how much similar content is made and the repeated coverage of certain things. It's remarkable how much has not been covered in the video or hasn't been talked about. It's ridiculous, actually. But I really liked that from Core. And yeah, it was a lot of that with him where you talking about Chojin Lock and 1000%, the rom-com thing, and Umi no Yami, diving into the manga of those, and like obviously none of them are fucking translated. Or no, I think 1000% was. At least it seemed like a fair deal of it was. But the struggle of not not being able to read them and stuff. It sucks. But I like that you were kind of able to use those as comparisons. But yeah, that was neat. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. I keep skipping around. Forget what I said. I am not doing my segment or by creator or by chronological or nothing. I'm just hopping just get ready. I'm coming in. Dog soldier. It's raining. Dog soldier. Jack was really good in this video. Yeah, I liked all of his segments, honestly, to one degree or another. But I think Dog Soldier was the funniest one. And it just like using the show's template and doing this very elaborate rhyme scheme because he was that bored with it. Oh man. I liked also that like with Blue Flames, Cherry no Manma, and Doki Damiso, he's getting like all the pervy shit. Just give him all the smut. Let him take care of it, and he handles it very well as would be expected. I think he's great at this. I'd love to see this sort of thing on his channel where he finds some really shitty, like edgy thing, kind of like Doku Damiso, and like on his channel, I think, and not out of the context. Like, well, I'm doing it for this video, sort of deal. I think he's great at it. I really think like taking these series down a peg and but not in a negative, super negative way. Like, it didn't feel like, oh, I hated it. Or you did, because you're not wallowing in it. And when you wallow in something like this, the audience can naturally feel that way too. And that those feelings kind of bleed through, I guess. When you're suffering, the audience kind of suffers. And do you really want the audience to suffer? Not really. But yeah, I thought Dog Soldier was funniest, whereas Cherry no Manma, he's like, I have nothing. I'm just going to make a rap instead. I thought that was the most creative, not just because of the rap exactly, but like the way he was filming it and in different locations and the amount of extra effort that would go into that. Whereas I think the short is only like 10 minutes and it's just a girl showing a guy her panties or something. It's like, dude, whatever. Like, okay. Mm-hmm. And I know that Core also had a rap with the unsubbed stuff, and that was a good way to rapid fire through them as well. But I just liked Jack's song as well. I just think it could be a hit single, not really, but it just stuck out to me, and it's in my head. I watch Cherry no Manma. Something like that. I butchered it. I guess I'm going by creator after all. I just wanted to mention while I'm at it, I don't know where else I would mention it, but his Drunk Rapper Leo segment was very unexpected. It was a very unexpected amount of sincerity from him. And like, you could tell he was serious, but after the 4 other segments and the way, and us knowing Jack and his content, this was very unexpected to the point where it was like waiting for the shoe to drop, of like waiting for him to, okay, when's the joke coming? And it never comes. So like, and it's not like, that's not the best feeling to have when you're trying to be sincere. And I know it's tough with like comedians and stuff like that, but that's what ended up happening for me. And also just cause like, I knew that like Kimba was sort of a running sort of thing for him, and but like he was so authentic and like really sincere, and I like it. And the second time watching it was a lot better. It was a lot better to really be like, yeah, he's serious about this, and like, yeah, he's making really good points, and doing this title justice, and so like it was good to see that, because it was also like, you're expanding into some different kind of content. You're challenging yourself. I think it's something different, right? It just kind of had that unfortunate side effect of like towards the end of the video and 4 previous segments of like memes and ha-has. Memes and ha-has. That's right. They're not called jokes. They're called ha-has. Yeah, I make ha-has on YouTube. Fuck. No, but I liked seeing that. I think there could be a little more ergonomic way to go about it, where it's like, okay, no jokes for this one, fellas, or or something a little lighthearted, but kind of mixing it with the sincerity or easing into the sincerity. But it really went like, Younger Emperor Leo is the best. And it's like, what? To the point where you're like, okay, when's it hitting? When's the joke coming? And that's what it felt like to me. But I enjoyed it for sure, but that's kind of something I took away from it for sure. I will voice a little personal gripe. It's a gripe. It's not a criticism. It's more of a gripe. It's like, I wish you didn't do that. Talking about Core with Yuara's segment, I get you don't have to like it. That just seems really sus how that is a problem with the show. I believe it. I completely believe it. I think you were articulating it very well. But what I came away with it was like, that must be intentional. Like if Urasawa was a really sharp author, I feel like he did that on purpose. And I feel like it's a matter of her overcoming it, and I guess she never does. And Core was like, I'm on her side, but I'm not in anyone else's. And it's like, I think that's the point. I feel like it's good that you were on her side and you were disagreeing with everyone else, and there's blatant misogyny going on, and a lot of problematic stuff. But is that really a fault of the show? Or it certainly doesn't make it. I get that, like the logic then goes, yes, it might be intentional, and that might be the idea of it, but that doesn't make it fun or interesting. It just makes it very frustrating. And maybe that's something you just didn't want in your life at the moment. But there's something that I feel like. But so my gripe about it really, it wasn't that you talked about it in that way, because who am I to say? I haven't seen it, but it was disappointing that it's like you solved this sort of quote unquote by looking into the episode summaries on Wikipedia, and like the briefs you just kind of gloss over as like the stuff that I read, and it's like, did you read every single one of them? Do you believe them? Are they going to? It's like they don't bring this issue up at all, and it's like, I don't know. That's necessarily something that's going to be brought up in these summaries because it's just talking about what happens in the episode, but you're not going to get the themes and the tone and other things about it, I guess. And I don't know. It just seems like there's something off about that. I think there's something missing. I could be wrong, but that was what was coming off to me, and I wanted to voice that, I guess. And I get it's a very long show, and you have these other things to cover and everything. So I'm happy you gave it 9 episodes, and I'm not going to, fault you for dropping it. You do whatever. But yeah, that was kind of rubbing me the wrong way. It was like, yeah, but then you had to like read the rest of it. You could have just, I don't know. It just doesn't rub me the right way, I guess. And I'm surprised you didn't know that the paper crane one, the one with the kids who go in like space and there's a paper crane, but it gets bigger and whatever. Apparently that was made by a Japanese cult. There's a lot of those, not necessarily by that one, but there's a lot of different ones made by different cults and stuff. And I learned about it from one of Mike Toole's online panels, talking about all of these different anime. And, one of them is, like Happy Science. They've made anime and they've made some movies and things like that. And I don't think necessarily this is one of the Happy Science ones, but it's a similar situation and something they made. But I was interested that, like, you were doing these deep dives on these other shows and kind of trying to get an understanding of some of them. Of like, what's the manga like or something? But you didn't run across that. I thought that was interesting. But I did give your Patlabor TV segment the best AMV segment. Man, that shit is the comfiest shit. What a fucking great song selection. And I like the choice of stuff. Like, it just was like not very typical clips and stuff. Like, I shouldn't say typical clips, but it didn't feel like, it just was surprising every time. Like, watching it was like, ooh, what's that? As someone who's seen the show, it's just like, oh yeah, there's that. And I don't know. It just felt like that. And yep, Noah Izumi. I'm really curious to what you would think about Patlabor 2. Because, God, as a fellow Izumi stan, I didn't like it, so. But maybe you will. Maybe you will too, because I mean, but I'm not sure, right? I don't know. But I was happy you liked TV more than you're liking it a lot. I hope you get back to. I don't know if you've gotten back to it recently, but I hope you do. It's good. It gets a little more. There's like an arc. There's more of a recurring story arc that happens that you probably are familiar with, like you've heard about. That's interesting. Interested to hear the rest of your thoughts about the franchise for sure. Yeah, and I gave like best surprise of like, oh, what the fuck is that? Obviously to Koshi and Hen. That shit's not even on AB. Anime Bites. I can't find it. I think it's fucking lost media, dude. That sucks. But like, and I guess like the first episode that you watched it from got taken down. But oh my gosh, it looks fantastic. The audio, I have to go more looking for it more again, I guess. I didn't spend too much time looking for it, but that really sucks. I'm not sure if you have the footage anymore, but I assume you downloaded the first episode to get the footage for the video. I'm not sure if you still have it. I doubt it. But if you do, maybe hit me up. I think that'd be... maybe? Shit. And I gave not best segment in terms of I think overall package, but I gave one of like best experience to Goku Midnight Eye 2. That was on an audio visual level spectacular. Like the orchestration, there's an audio transition between two tracks that it was fucking mind blowing. The clip selection is fantastic. The way you open the segment with like describing the opening scene, and very trailer-esque, I think is what Manuel was describing it as when we talked about it. It's so good. It's hard to say anything much else about it, to be honest. I just love the clips and love how it's shot. And God, yeah, it was just so fucking sick. I really need to see Goku. I need to see all of Kaoru's shit. I don't know why I haven't. Fuck me. And then, yeah, ending the segment with Sally the Witch. I was pretty happy with that. I really liked the heel turn you had, where you're really describing it in detail, and then you drop the things like, there's no subs. What the fuck? What do you mean there's no subs? And the kind of pulling the rug out from under you sort of deal. That was very effective. And making a good representation for this very important show that, for some reason, we don't have all of. It really sucks. I don't think we have all of Astro Boy, though, either. Interestingly enough. I don't know why. I can't believe it either. I mean, granted, we also don't have like fucking Star of the Giants. We have there's a lot of older stuff that we don't have still. It's impressive. It's good that we have what we do have, honestly. But there's a ton that is important. That was very early in development, and it was actually very important for the classics we do know. That we do know also influenced this other stuff. Because like Joe is like, for as influential Joe is, it has ancestors, and it has Star of the Giants and Attack Number 1 specifically. Attack Number 1 is all subbed. Bless those guys who fucking did all that. Hell yeah. But Star of the Giants hasn't even started yet, and I doubt we'll even get it, F. But I guess that's all of my thoughts. Freaking great video. I loved it. Of course I did. And that's what I mean, where it's like, yeah, this is exactly what I was expecting. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it is kind of like, you get what you get. I'll end it on this note of, it was cute that I noticed this later, like during my first recording, that the thumbnail seems to be the from the anime that each of at least Jack, Core, and Man Mode, each of their favorites from the bunch that they reviewed. So like, Sally is Man Mode's favorite, Jack being Kimba being Jack's favorite, and Palabra being Core's favorite. That's cute. But I'm very happy it's finally done, finally over, and can't wait for 1992. We'll see. I think it was a little. Does that mean with the ending segment? Did that mean Man Mode wasn't going to be in 92? Or just 92 wasn't happening? I'm not sure. But I get that it's it'll be a while before you get back to that, because this took a lot out of you. This is a lot of fucking work. Maybe too much, but nothing's too much. What are you talking about? This is YouTube. Not too much work. What are you talking about? Anyway, I really liked it a lot. And I finally did it. And it's the same length. Holy shit. Well, at least on my raw recording, it's an hour and 40. I'm sure it's cut a little less, but it's still long as shit. Hell yeah. Thank you to my patrons for watching such a big video, and the next one will come out soon enough. Thank you to Beamburst, Eden, Aiko, Flugmorph, Hazel, Knowledgebeb, My Anime Pod, Unique Namosaurus, and Yellow Cheese. You guys have a great week, or I'll see you tomorrow, and whatever. I hope you had a great week. Yo, peace.